Well, today, this photo really left very many Arsenal fans in tears. It's all about Jurrien Timber, and that is the guy. Around the beginning of the second half, Jurrien Timber found himself just go down, yet the ball was in his vicinity, and he called for help, and he was taken off by the physio team of Arsenal. By the time Arsenal was 2 goals from nil, it was in the 47th minute, nearing the 48th minute, when Jurrien Timber really went to the floor, and that has gone ahead to leave a lot of worry into the memory lane of Arsenal fans. But the manager Mikel Arteta has gone ahead obviously to put out a statement as far as this is concerned, and that's what we've gone ahead to call it the hot Jurrien Timber injury update, because most of you need to know what Jurrien Timber's injury is all about. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys, and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. This is the Arsenal News Show. We are talking only Arsenal, and we are talking Arteta apologizing to the fans of Arsenal for the delayed entry into the stadium, and the game was late by 30 minutes because it was supposed to start at 2:30. Guess what? The game started at 3 p.m. That's it. So he has gone ahead and issued apology, and I'm going to let you know what I'm going to say. And secondly, how Arsenal went ahead to obviously bring Nottingham back into the game by failing to kill off that game. Arteta has also gone ahead to issue a statement onto that. So here onto the Rokani Media Football. We are really blessed to have you guys, and we really thank you. Now, I know some people believe I have an agenda on Bukayo Saka, but I love Bukayo Saka, and I've seen it very many times when I give a honest view of Bukayo Saka. You know, he's a good player, but I think he's overrated. That is it. And I won't really bite any words. People say that it's because you support Manchester United, don't love Bukayo Saka. Guys, go to United Matters channel and see my thoughts about Marcus Rashford. I say the same things about Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford is a good player, but he's overrated. You know? On any day I've always told you that I take Martinelli over Marcus Rashford. Do you know why? I believe Martinelli is a better player. He has a much more better ceiling. I think he's 21, 22 years of age. Rashford is 26. At the age of 21, when you look at the abilities that Martinelli has got on the football, Rashford does not hold them. Look at his assist today. You know, that 180 back heel turn. Have you seen it? This guy is really great. And for me, I'm sorry. You know, I like ballers. That's why I tell you that the best player at Arsenal is Martin Odegaard, because he's a baller. When look at William Saliba, I love him because he's a baller. You know, look at Jakub Kiwior. I rate him highly than Gabriel Magalhaes because Jakub Kiwior is a baller. Jurrien Timber, I rate him highly than Ben White because however much Ben White is a baller, but Jurrien Timber is a better baller than Ben White. You know my take about Jurrien and Thomas Partey. You know that very well. I love the two players, but I believe when Jurrien plays, Arsenal gets more control of the game than when Partey plays, because Partey releases that ball early enough, and he's not as press resistant as Jurrien. So when you are coming to the comment section, you need to know where Rokani comes in from and the point of basis. To me, their players have gone ahead to slate, and they are Manchester United players, and I don't love them at the club. That is it. So I don't have an agenda on Bukayo Saka. I want you guys to get me clearly. I don't have any agenda on Bukayo Saka. By the way, I love the player because I saw him emulate from the time of Unai Emery when he played him as a left back to being played as a left winger until when Mikel Arteta came in through and played him as a right winger, and where has gone ahead to thrive. But these things with time, you let me know. As we waited for Raheem Sterling from Liverpool at the age of 16, he came in through and really went to Man City. But what else has he gonna hate to do? You know? So, I love Bukayo Saka, but these are facts. But they are bitter, and some Arsenal fans have been on player ratings coming out and obviously putting out all thoughts that they really think I have about Bukayo Saka, the agendas, I envy, that it's all about YouTube views. Guys, when we started this channel, we got people who are subscribing to us, and we are soon hitting 17,000 subscribers. I respect everyone who watches this channel, and I really hold you in high esteem, but I don't want you to always use it as a card, all kind of card, that I support Manchester United. I'm a person who has objective views on Arsenal, Manchester United, and I've been talking to my friend right now that I'm afraid that if at all we play with Mason Mount and Casemiro in the double pivot as we play Arsenal on the 3rd of September, Arsenal might override us, because if Arteta really concentrates Partey and Declan Rice in the midfield plus Odegaard, and their chemistry really adds up together, all makes up together, we are going to be in trouble at the Emirates. So I give my views, and those who really just think that I'm biased, I'm not biased. I've seen players like Bukayo Saka before. Who of you watched Stuart Downing? There is another boy called, was it Johnson? He was playing at Man City, left-footed, really great. Do you remember Ashley Young? So it's all about Bukayo Saka to prove me wrong, that he can really elevate his game to that level. One thing I know Bukayo Saka is going to improve is that he's going to score more goals and put in more assists. But I don't expect him to obviously get in more skill sets, be flamboyant, take off players. That's it. But that does not make him a bad player. That doesn't make him a bad player. I respect him, and I believe that today, apart from the goal he scored, he never had a lot to do on the game. I saw him put out close to 4 blind passes. That is it. Now, look at Martin Odegaard. He was the engine. He was the conductor of that team. The way he got that ball, distributed left, right, and center, his hold up play, that's what we call ballers. Look at Trossard when he came on through. Martinelli, that's what I call. Look at their flair. So to me, I think I had to throw in this into you guys, because I know most of you, not most of you, but there are some Arsenal fans that believe I'm biased about Bukayo Saka because he's a poster boy of Arsenal. I love Bukayo Saka. That is it. Because he's African. That's one of the things. Secondly, I've seen his journey and I respect him. But every person has goods and bads. There are pros and cons of Bukayo Saka. So when I come out and obviously put them out in a game, don't say that Rokani doesn't like Bukayo Saka, has an agenda about him. I remember there was a game when he played very well and I gave him a rating of like 8 out of 10 and I made him the man of the match. That is it. And when he comes out and performs very well, Rokani will come out and give you the best narrative about that. Now, let's go to Jurrien Timber, hot update. And it's all about Arteta. He said, know the officials, the doctors, they looked at him and they were happy to continue him as well. But straight away in the second half, the first action, he made a movement and it was a bit funny. So we took him straight out. And now we have to assess him to see what he has now. In the first half, he made a foul and he really got a yellow card that resulted into that injury that we saw him really go down. But Bukayo Saka came up through, lifted him from the ground, and he accomplished the first half. Now, the doctors assessed him during the 15 minutes of half time, and they told Arteta that it's okay, he can continue. But in the second half, no sooner had he returned, he really lost himself and obviously went on the ground, and that's when Arteta decided to take him off. But this shows you that Arsenal is a different team from what it was last season. Now, in the game they're going to play against Crystal Palace, I think they're going to be having Zinchenko back, meaning that that's what we call having a squad depth. One of the things that really affected Arsenal last season were injuries that forced them to obviously play players in positions where they're supposed to be played. That is it. But right now, you'll all understand that for Jurrien Timber, it looks like it's really going to be some injury that is going to keep him out for 3 to 5 or 6 weeks, depending on whether he undergoes a surgery or not. But you'll obviously miss him. But at the beginning of the season, with Arsenal having some games against Manchester United, Crystal Palace, Tottenham Hotspur, you anticipate that they can obviously go past that. Because if Declan Rice is there, Kai Havertz, Jesus is returning in the game of Crystal Palace. That's what we've been told, and is expected to return to Arsenal training very soon. Arsenal is set to play some games, and I think they're going to win them. Now, we look at Crystal Palace next Monday, Fulham on 26th, that is August, Man United, Everton, Tottenham Hotspur, Bournemouth, Man City, and Chelsea. I think these are the first 10 games that Arsenal are really going to play, and they're really having hard ones, but I think their squad can go through it. But Jurrien Timber is obviously going to be a very huge miss for me. very, very big miss for the Arsenal fans, because you see what he's going to hate to put out on the field of play. Because out of the 3 that Arteta signed, he is the first player to fit perfectly into that team of Arsenal. That is it. He's the first player to fit into the world of Arsenal, into the lineup of Arsenal. And it always worries when the signing that you made getting into the first team and it's obviously out of floor and it's on the floor with an injury. That is Jurrien Timber. But I hope that the physios are going to do all the important jobs so that they will get him back on the field of play as soon as possible. But it's going to be a very big miss. That is Jurrien Timber. Now, Arteta on the Navy finish of the game, obviously the game finished in a very weird way for Arsenal fans, and they obviously had lots of things to obviously make up. Now, Arteta said, "Welcome to the Premier League." I think that's the highlight. We were super dominant. We deserve to win the game. There is no question that we deserve to win the game. But when you are 2 up and you have some chances to kill the game and you don't kill the game off, that results into what you saw on the field of play, and that is all about Arsenal winning that game by 2-1, and Nottingham nearly got what we call an equalizer into that mix. So for Arsenal fans all over the world, it's all about getting in these 3 points. That's the most important bit of it all. I know Arsenal had a chance to kill off the game, but you're not going to win every game by 3-0, 2-0, 5-0. Some games are obviously hard. By the way, the start of the Premier League is not always easy, but the most important bit of it all is getting the 3 points. I saw Bethroyd, he was an ex-Arsenal player, and at the beginning of last season, he told Robbie of AFTV that all what you would want at the start of the season is any win of any nature. A win of any kind is what you will want. That is it. So Arsenal getting those 3 points, that is really great. And it's good that they even started at NS, because if all the game was away, would have gotten a little bit more uglier than it was today at the Emirates. But all in all, 3 points are the most important bit of it all. This is a game of points. The more wins you get, the more closer you become or close to the title. I've seen some Arsenal fans obviously trying to show us that the elephant is now climbing a tree. We really wish them well to see how far the elephant can climb the tree. Will it be on top of the tree again? Wait and see in the first 10 games of the season. But in the first 10 games of the season, Arsenal has to play Man City, they have to play Chelsea, they have to play Spurs, they have to play Manchester United. So those are 24 points, and those are 12 points, and we're asking ourselves, how many will Arsenal really get? Now, out of that, let's halt it with this. Arsenal, Arteta, on the issues supporters had getting into the stadium before the game. He said, "From my position, I apologize to all of them for what happened in relation to the club as well. As a speaker, we apologize. We'll look at what happened to try to improve it." For all of those that never really got to know what happened before the pitch, before the game, the fans were really delayed for a long time, and the game delayed for 30 minutes before it really commenced. And obviously that might have affected the psychology of the players according to how they are ready, because they had to warm up, and after warming up, they had to wait a little bit much longer to obviously see themselves get into the mood of obviously getting to the pitch. But Arteta's gone ahead to apologize after the machines that obviously check the tickets of these players on their phones went off. So your thoughts on to hot Jurrien Timber injury update are welcome in the comment section below. What do you make about Arteta's comments on the Navy end of the Arsenal game, and the fans being delayed to enter the pitch of Arsenal? So your thoughts onto that are welcome. Sign out in the comment section below. And David remains my name. See you later. I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ, and we come in here for you, and we give you what we call the best. My Muslim viewers and subscribers, Barakallahu fikum. I'm out.